And today, when I think about what happens today and how we live life with all the virus and the situation, we still have the cave. We are somewhere in the room and really not much change. We are still in the room. What really changes is that we can be too much occupied with what happens outside, what happens, how we are drawn to the world outside. And that world outside comes with news and deliver news to us. And the news are, of course, what to do. Let's say we have a coronavirus, and the news about stocks and the news about what to do. But there is something else around, not only news about the stocks, but also opinions and assumption about that. So there is a line, the stocks drop 1,800 points, but it also is added something else to it, that the stock tumbled 1,800 points, and then is added that the stocks are going down because of the fear of coronavirus and so on. So it's a lot of assumptions, a lot of opinions of people. They are talking about news. The news is very simple and very short. News is that coronavirus is spreading and how many cases up there. And that is news. And then what we do in order to protect ourselves, that's news. There's no more than that. But talk about the news is not really news anymore. That's entertainment. And we have a lot of that, and we really don't need that. We need really only the news and our own room where we are, and where is our family, where is our loved ones, friends, and children, and so on. And stay away from the world up there. That is just entertainment. There's not news up there. So it's very important to refocus ourselves on what actually we do, and create an environment inside to focus on our place where we are, and start really working on something that is transparent. It is not really vague. So transparency, I see, it's extremely important to engage and to find the happiness. Like I said, what is really happiness, right? It's something that is really available to everyone. It has to be available for everyone, otherwise it wouldn't have sense. And it is really pursuit of all philosophy and almost anybody. And everybody try to find out what is happiness, right? And since it is available to everyone, it has to be within us. It has to be somewhere around us. It has to be within us, how we feel, how we think, what is our knowledge, what is our belief. That whole outcome is this, whatever happens. How it happens, what comes out of us is that quality of that happiness, is that quality of how we live life. And it is important that really here, as we live that life, there is a transparency that we create. So what is the transparency in fitness, right? It is transparency of numbers. So when we think about fitness, we also think about today experience, what kind of experience you had. But that's not transparency. Transparency is numbers. How many pounds you want to lose, how many pounds you want to get stronger, how many pounds how many inches is you are away from the ground to touch the ground. That is transparency. That transparency is vital. What is transparency in cooking, for example? You know, transparency in cooking is that you are completely owning the way of cooking. You are the master. You have certain strategies, and that's it. You know how to cook. As like my mother knew how to cook soups and pierogies and so on. She didn't have any recipes, and they were always a little bit different. But that is a strategy. It is not really a recipe and thousands of recipes. There was this research done about variety and then narrowing the choices. And people were exposed to 6 versus 30 jams, different jams. And when they went to the room and tried 30 jams, they were so overwhelmed by variety that they couldn't really pick up any jam at all. But once they were exposed to 6 jams, they could find the jam they liked, and they could buy the jam or 1 or 2. So they ended up with the choice when they were not overwhelmed. So it is important in life to have not too many choices, that the variety really takes us on a trip that we get overwhelmed. And as soon as we get overwhelmed, you know, we have a problem what we like, what is that jam that, you know, we would like to taste, we would like to buy. So therefore, you know, the choice of what to do and how to train and what exercise to do and not to change them too often is essential, and that gives us the ability to get better. If you think about Paul Volcker, it's hard to really imagine that one will be changing everyday exercise system. That actually, that one will not have much variety, will be repeating over and over the same, and that's how it's going to be. And that's how that one, by repetition, will find adaptation and will find a way to make himself better and progress in that. And we all want to progress. We want to get better, of course. And finding that is, and practicing that, sometimes it is difficult when we have actually too many coaches, too many programs, too many things. And we end up doing every day differently, and then we fall into this entertainment instead of practicing something and becoming better because of that practice. So transparency in any field like cooking and fitness and news, and transparency of also experience, right? The transparency of experience is very important. You probably know the Big Little Lies, you know, the show. And then, you know, a girl says the boy bullied the girl, and now we don't know, right? So the situation is that the boy says that he didn't do it, and the girl says, yes, somebody here lies, and the whole village becomes irritated, angry, and a lot of drama is around that. And everything begins with no transparency. What if there was a camera, for example, and then we would see, we would rewind and we would look what happened. And the girl could say, oh, well, I thought it was Jack, but it's really John. And that would end. And there would not be a book and there would not be a movie. But it is, because the vagueness is there. There's no transparency. So do we like transparency? No, we actually don't. We don't. We like the vagueness. We like the unknown. We like the mystery, and so on and so on. But when it comes to a way of living, the improvement of ourselves, this transparency has to be for to become better, because athletes have transparency, and business people have transparency, artists have transparency. So there is a skill there that goes with transparency. If you don't have transparency, then you simply wouldn't know what to do on a daily basis, and then you wouldn't know how to progress. So transparency is the way that the world is moving toward. That more and more transparency will happen, and it will help us to live better lives, especially those that something happens to them, and they will have a way of proof or saying that what happened really happened. But if there is no transparency, then really the bully stays as a bully, and then nobody knows. So it's covered up really, and then we don't have really progress here. So so transparency is a way also of being courageous in life. It's like you don't have anything to hide. You live the life of a simple man when you have transparency. So transparency in weightlifting is very clear. Everything is measured. Everything is in details. Everything is structured. So for 7 days, I will be working with you and creating this transparency, this way of living that would eventually create that certain feeling of wholeness that actually you like, you feel good about it. And if it happens after 7 days, if it happens in fitness, in cooking, and in breathing, and the way that you will find yourself in it, and you will not be confused at all, and you will like it, then you will experience a beautiful thing. You will experience this immense joy of that you're good in life, that everything what is around and how you are is okay, that you're actually okay. You are capable and you feel good about, you're not exhausted, you're not overwhelmed, and all of it has sense. You will get that feeling. I remember the poem I wrote before we go and make bars. Let me see if I find this poem. But oh yeah, okay. Let me find this poem. All right. You know, I always, when I was 15 years old, I was asked in Poland by somebody where I was born, and I said, that's a tricky question. I said, why is this tricky? It's this very simple thing. I said, well, you know, it is tricky for me because I know physically that I was born here, but my brain was born in America. So how did it happen to me? I don't know, but I kept repeating, but that my brain, my mind is over there. So I always felt that Americans are people that when they see goodness, then they will go that direction. Then where they see something that is worth of fighting for, they will fight for it. So this is the poem that I wrote about that, about these Americans, and then I will read it to you. It's just that feeling that I was talking about happens, and then is the result of being a certain way. Let me see. It feels you. A Safeway cashier pulled out a 2-liter bottle of diet soda and put it in front of the apples. I looked at it and said, I didn't buy this. She smiled and said, it's okay. It's free. I'm sorry, I said, but I don't want it. She smiled more sweetly and said, but it's free. You can have it. The truth is, I said, I wouldn't drink it even if I was paid to. She stopped laughing and said, you must be an immigrant. No, I'm a true American, I told her. A true American? She smiled. Yes, I said. Hard to change from outside. She took the bottle away and said, I don't even remember how that feels. That's right. It feels you. That is the feeling that was in that gym, and that is the feeling of that was in that family. And that is the feeling that comes when we have a certain common sense what is goodness and what is right and what is the virtue and how to live that life that is fulfilling, that is worth fighting for. So today is this extreme situation that actually is the time that also is the time to expose yourself to what is right, what is good, what is transparency, and bring it to your own family and everywhere else. The world will not be the same place. The transparency is really coming to us, and people who want to talk about things will be, that language will be more and more recognized as the weak language and the language of really no use. It will be more language of returning more to the language of news and the language of facts and the language of transparency. That's what the transparency is about. So now I will go and we'll make bars. So the whole thing about bars, we have the video of making bars, but I was just thinking that I will take you to the kitchen and I will show you how simple it is to make bars, because it's always the problem of that we feel overwhelmed. This is the area, the kitchen, you know, in the kitchen, I will be 7 days with you making different food. And you will see how simple it is. It's supposed to be simple. It's supposed to be so simple and so good and so healthy. That is, you know, crazy. The whole thing about simplicity and goodness and health is crazy. You know, I have this saying: if you are poor, you're destined to be healthy, because, you know, healthy food is really cheap, but for some reason we think it is not. So, but really, the truth is that the food that is produced is the cheapest, and whatever we do with that apple, let's say, and we'll make that apple worse. But as soon as we make the apple worse, the apple really costs more and more money. So the more we destroy the apple, the more cost, the more we pay. So actually, if we actually eat the apple, it's the cheapest form. A banana is about 20 cents, 25 cents organic banana, 200 calories. If you have 3 bananas a day, you have 3 snacks, and you have 75 cents spent. Isn't it incredible? And then if you add broccoli to it and a little bit rice and beans, and then you have another, you know, $1, and it's just, and that is the healthiest food that you can actually have. Boom, right? Healthy is very cheap. Very cheap. And let's go and make bars. All right, fantastic. I will take you to the kitchen. Fast food, and how to make delicious food, and how to make food that you can have for the whole week in about 15 minutes. That's what I'm going to do. So what we make bars of today and how we make them. So first, we put into the processor. This is the food processor. Now, the one thing that I want you to do it in a way that it is not important how much of everything, just a little bit that, a little bit that, a little bit that, and then you will find a way. This is the strategy. I will do the soups tomorrow the same way. So nothing is really measured. If you want to measure, okay, you can measure it, but you really don't have to. And then let me see, I will create the bar today out of my feeling, how I feel. And if you make these bars for periods of certain months and so on, you will develop your taste. Why the bars and making bars? Because our clients, especially women, they complain that the bars that we eat, and we ate the bars from stores, they had preservatives, and the children were eating them, and they're concerned about that. So we started making really bars and teaching people how to make bars, strategize how to make the bars, but not really follow complexity. Like Einstein said, complex, right? We can make things, you know, bigger and complex, but the other way is very hard choice, because it's the way of simplicity and the way of transparency. So, and not to be overwhelmed. Flax seeds, let's say, you can use any seeds that you want. I will use some flax seed, and oh, that was the flax seed, and then I can use, you can use either grounded. There's a little bit grounded, that was actually not grounded, and can use some little bit grounded seeds, and then I will, people like chia seeds, so you can add chia seeds to a little bit that. And then next would be to add some spices. So we like spices. You like, if you like cinnamon, you like some cinnamon, to add cinnamon to it. And I like about half a bottle for about 20, 30 bars. Then the same turmeric. If you like turmeric, about half of the bottle too. Then the next one is ginger, powdered ginger. Then ginger is really strong, so you have to be careful. Let me take a spoon. All right, so I use for 20 bars around like half of the small spoon. Okay, and cayenne pepper. So this one is just a little bit because that's very strong. It depends how you like it. You don't have to use it. Of course, you know, when you do it, do this with your own seeds, different mixtures, and add and take off, and spices. Use your own spices, and so a little bit cayenne. And now everything is really dry, so you can cover this up, and you can start the machine. When you start the machine, it will it'll start moving the seeds. And if some seeds are not grounded, the machine will ground here. Some of them, they still will be crunchy when you eat the bars. So it's up to you whether you use it to ground it or not. But now it's time to add chocolate. You can add chocolate or not, but I really like for about 20 bars of chocolate like that. Okay. So, smells fantastic. It's still dry, see? So now is the time to add something that will make it softer and bound everything. So we have seeds, we have spices, we have salt, and now we'll add some prunes. You can add apples or prunes, okay? All right. So it's still dry, a little bit. Although, see, the inside is still dry. It's not really gluey. So the next step is to use dates to bound the whole seeds together and spices. So I will start the machine and I will start adding. So when machine rumbles and it's not really even, that you know that inside the hole is ready for actually forming the bar. You can see that it's sticky now. So now is the next step. Now you can use nuts or seeds. So we like to really recently use just the seeds, not nuts, because kids are allergic and a lot of people are allergic to nuts. So we just decided just on seeds. So now we can draw this out on a board, and you have all there ready to form that way, or you can form some of it, make the bar this way, right? And you can see that it's really easy to form, and you can cut, and that would be the bar already like that. And you can cut and here it is, a bar, right? Like that. Or you can add seeds or nuts and mix, right? You see that it's very simple already and very pleasant. When you go to the kitchen and you are ready for the snack, it can be 10-15 minutes. So you have the bars. It's not, and you are doing something that takes you away from really overthinking about for example, the work. So now we'll mix everything well. So all this, these are the sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds. So now we're mixing everything so it's spread nicely and even. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. All right. All right. It's good. Okay. Looks wonderful. All right. So I will show you how it looks like. Looks like that. All right. And it's like this. So now you can cut, you can count all the calories you can put in. And if you want to make the bars with 150 calories or 170 calories, you can easily do, because all of this is in packages. So I will, of course, cut small bars, and a bar like that will have about 200 calories. You see how beautiful the bar is, right? And it is really crunchy, so it's always fantastic. You cannot make mistake, cannot make an error. Every bar will be good, like soup. It's just hard to make mistakes on real food. When you mix real food, it's still real food. It's not really processed, nothing is here processed and so on. So it's wonderful. All right, wash my hands, and then I will go and start talking. Jeff, do you have any questions for me, maybe? Want to question?
Yeah, if you could just recap what ingredients you use when you just made those bars for everybody, just boom, 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 just real quick,
Right.
that'd be great.
So first, seeds. You add the seeds to the processor, and there will be, I added chia first and flaxseed. Then I added spices. There was cinnamon, ginger, turmeric, and cayenne pepper. When I had all this dry foods, spices, and seeds, I started the machine and I added chocolate. When the whole thing was, the chocolate was broken into small pieces, I added prunes. And after that, I added dates to bond everything together to create this dough-like mass and pull it out. And I added sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds to form the bar that is now looks better. It's a crunchy. Some people really like to blend to the end everything, but some people really like crunchy. So these are the pumpkin and sunflower seeds.
They look great. So would you say the general strategy is start with the dry ingredients and progressively add to the more moist or wet ingredients until the consistency is right?
So dry first, then medium dry like prunes, chocolate, and the dates really will bond everything together.
Great. So that's the strategy.
And then, of course, you know the way of exercise, but I will approach the exercise a little bit from a different position and slower a little bit. So it's not too much covered. So first, I would like you to feel good, so not to be overwhelmed, not to feel like you cannot do it. So it's important to slow down everything and do very little, but do very little every day, and feel good about that. You know, it's like you're capable, and you can do that. So that's the most important factor. So there is in the Happy Body, so we'll cover one exercise. And in the Happy Body, there is this breathing. And, always people ask about this, why the breathing is there. So it's a practice of calmness. It's a practice also of creating interval training system with the breaks really lifting from the recovery. So when you inhale, you're actually you're not training. When you holding the breath, it's that calmness comes into your body, and the parasympathetic system is engaged. And then when you exhale, you release. So there's exhale time and the inhale time that creates this time of recovery and then building the muscle instead of losing the muscle. So any endurance system, when you actually do repetitions, it will create the breaking down the muscle. And there will be a catabolic state and not anabolic. And with our aging is that we need the muscle. We need to grow the muscle and not lose, because the atrophy happens throughout our time, so we lose the muscle. So it's important to really, hold on to muscle and grow it and not to lose it. But it's a hard choice. It's a really difficult choice to make, and to make it happen, to actually deliver that. So as you go through life and you go into 50s and 60s and 70s, if you can move and you can keep the muscle, that the immunity of that system, of course, is a lot of better of the one that doesn't have the muscle. Because you can imagine somebody that has less muscle, and what happens to that person, right? Is that become fragile, become weak, and also immunity is compromised. So it is important throughout the life to keep your body strong and muscular, lean, and capable. It's mobile, so mobility and flexibility is important as well. The whole system, the exercise system also is created to deliver mindfulness and to deliver 100% focus, because mindfulness is really 100% focus, and to create this singularity of the brain. So when you inhale, and that's really one thing happens, and then you move to the flexing and you move to the lifting, and the brain constantly moves between one and another one. So the brain is occupied with what the brain is doing. So because of that, it is this effect, like, cleaning the house. When we get irritated, we go and clean the house, and we start cleaning the house, and we get, sometimes you see mothers upset and they will go and start cleaning the house. It is the cleaning the house is that releasing the irritation, releasing frustration, because the more you clean the house, the more you connect it to actually what you are cleaning. You start seeing things, and this takes the attention from the outside. So the happy body takes you the same way. It takes attention from entertainment on there, and to what you're actually doing. That's why it's a system that delivers, self releasing of stress and delivers the calmness. It's a very beautiful thing, really, when it happens, when you really connect to it that way, how it's supposed to be done. And you can do it until you're 100 years old, and it's impossible not to be great. It just actually has to happen. But you have to practice on doing the daily routine on a daily basis, like brushing teeth or something else. The happy body was created for that reason. So before really many of us, they know the happy body, but some probably other that don't know. So first I will show you how we breathe. So there is this inhale, and then after it's finished, we are flexing certain parts of the body, and then we are lifting, and we are stretching the body, and then we are returning, and then we are exhaling. So there's a pranayama breathing is inhale, stop for about 8 seconds, and exhale. And that's how we train to be calmer in life. If you are really in a situation when you are irritated, you can practice this without any lifting, but you will see when I lift, it will be exactly this breathing patterns when the hold is lifting and stretching and return. This is the time to actually calm the heart down. So now I will show you the standing tall, how to do, and then we'll do the homework, right? Homework for you, right? So one exercise, so you really master it, and I will do a couple of reps with you, and so you will. So when you stand, So now you can do this exercise with your hands, as you know, if you have dumbbells, you can have dumbbells. You can have two books in your hands. And in time, when you're ready, you can buy dumbbells. And on Amazon, they can deliver right now. So first, I will do without any dumbbells. So I'm standing straight, chest is up. Now I will inhale, only inhale. And then when after inhale, I'm holding my breath and I'm flexing my stomach, flexing my glutes, and I'm curling my toes up. So number 2 is that. Number 1 is inhale. Number 3, I will lift. So I will lift the weights up. And number 4, I will stretch. And that stretch is the whole shoulder blades and all the happiness and joy of the body. And then return, and then exhale, and then release the tension. So 6 things like a mantra. These 6 things repeat and repeat. The brain is really doing this. 100% focus, singularity of the brain happens, mindfulness happens. It can happen in 30 minutes of the day. And you can imagine how good it is, right? It is like you would do the training and you would meditate at the same time. All right, so let's do 6 repetitions. Okay, so inhale, flex, lift, stretch, down, exhale. Inhale, tight, lift, stretch, down, exhale. Inhale, tight, lift, stretch, down, exhale. Inhale, tight, lift, stretch, down, exhale. Inhale, lift, stretch, down, exhale. So it was 6 times. So the homework will be to do 6 times of it. Rest 1 minute after, and do 20 rounds like that. So that will be around 30 minutes. So that's your homework for tonight, today, whenever you want to.
Hey, Jersey.
Yes?
I have a question. Leila, how you doing?
Yeah, fantastic. What's the question?
Hi, the question is the weight. How much weight?
Oh, the weight, usually we start with very light. So you can start about 1, 2, 3 pounds. And it is not important weight at the beginning. At the beginning is important the movement patterns. Yeah. So flexibility is the most important at the beginning, not really how much weight. And weight you will add as you lift throughout weeks, let's say, and then the weight, let's say you start with 3 pounds, it's just too light, feels too light. Then you go to 4 pounds or 5 pounds and you start increasing the weight. And we'll talk more about this, how we do that.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. At the beginning, you can start with the hands, right? And it's more important is just the movement patterns. So the homework, 20 rounds of the 20 times 6, right? So each time you do 6, rest 1 minute and do another 6, rest 1 minute, like that. Okay? So that's your homework on exercise. Cooking. The homework is to make bars, right? And put them into a freezer. So when you put them into the freezer in the morning, or after a while, it will be frozen, and it's really hard. So you can eat slower. And I want you to to practice self-control, start with the eating the bar. I want you to eat the bar in, well, let's start at 20 minutes, right? So take 20 minutes to eat a bar, and so eat it slowly. It's like this bar, right? So eat it very slowly, small pieces, tea. You just practice, self-control and charging the battery. So the battery is this strength that we need to make hard choices in life. And when we are faced with something really difficult for us, and we know that we do something wrong, sometimes we just cannot do it because we are too weak and our system is drained. So it is important to, when you use the happy body after work, let's say you come and you do the happy body because it will recharge you, instead of just going home and going into the kitchen and start with wine or something else, and then you will have really problem of monitoring, seeing yourself doing wrong, and you will do something what is wrong. So practicing self-control, delayed gratification, it will be the part of these 7 days. We will engage more and more in practicing how we can, charge the self-control, how we can charge the battery that is strong, that we can actually do what we plan to do and what makes us better, instead of what really breaks us. So 20 minutes eating the bar, and this is your homework. So I can take some questions now.
So Jerzy, before we open it up to everyone for questions with the exercise, can you just talk about how to adapt it if you have a frozen shoulder, or if you're not able to fully extend your
right? Oh, thank you for that. So if you have frozen shoulder or pains or something, then you make these moves only partial. The move can be to this or that place or that place. So you don't go all the way. You avoid the stretch. I just did the perfect face. But if that movement is enough, so inhale, tight here, and then you put a little bit up, that's fine. So you go always to the place of a little bit a discomfort, a little bit pain, but very gentle, and you back up and you back up. Do every day that way. So the shoulder set has to feel comfortable with it. Okay?
Okay. If anybody else has a question they'd like to ask now, you can go ahead and unmute yourself, or there's a raise your hand button somewhere, and I can go ahead and unmute you, but feel free to ask away now.
I'd like to.
Hi.
You see me?
Yes.
Lisa.
Hi, Jerzy.
Hey.
So, as you know, I've been doing Happy Body for 10 years. So, the exercise homework you want us to do you want me to just adapt that to a heavier weight, or go down to a lightweight again? Because I do 8 pounds always, that exercise.
No, you keep yours. Yeah.
That is, and do the same homework but with a heavy weight.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, you can explore that way, or you can do your stuff whatever you do, because you're doing for so long.
Happy body. Okay.
This is more like for people that never had the happy body. Oh. So I'm trying to teach people slowly, those who didn't have the happy body. So
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you are already 10 years, you are just the master.
You're a lady at this.
In 30 years, you will be incredible, right?
Gotta live long enough.
Well, it will pass, right? So meantime, you will need a lot of joy, right? And a lot of fun and so on, right? So that's life's supposed to be hard choices and fun.
Right. Okay, well, thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. We missed you though.
Miss you.
Okay.
Hey, I have a question. Hello.
Let me speaker, right?
I'm not sure if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay, great. Nice to meet you. So I'm a dancer. One of the dances I do is break dancing. And I noticed some things got easier. I've been doing the Happy Body for 7 months. And I've gone up in weight up to like 15 pounds. But now I do have some chronic injuries from previous dancing. So my question is, how do I know when, like, I was doing really well with the squat, and now like I'm starting to have some knee issues and I can't go as deep as I used to go. So I'm just wondering how I can like handle that. And because I don't have someone I don't have a coach, I'm coaching myself. So how can I've gone down in weight with the squat, but then I feel like that makes my leg weaker. But then if I start going up in weight, my hamstrings and butt feel stronger, but then I can't go as deep into the squat.
Okay, so you have a joint, right? The knee is a joint, right? That the joint has mobility, and also the joint has tendons, ligaments, and so on. So, and then you have the muscle, the quadricep, that lifts you up, and hamstrings and glutes, right? So if that, there is a system of thinking here about accumulation and adaptation, right? So when you accumulate, you have to do certain amount of repetitions, days, weeks, and months. And then adaptation has to happen to that level. If that adaptation is compromised, you will have pains, you will have wear and tear that the rest is not enough to adapt. So it means that there is more load that adaptation can handle. So how to deal with it when you have a little bit soreness, you have to go back and you have to build more strength on that level where the body feels right. So you can raise the height and be okay with it, because building strength is a slow process. So whenever you are not patient enough and you want to be faster, you are going to go backward. So it is important that you have the patience of building better body, because if you don't have the patience, you will not build a better body, because you will break it. So that's what really happens to you. So how to do with it? You can go to a higher level and lift more weights, let's say, and check if the knees adapting to that, or the same weight and watch it. But you cannot have, sore knees and lift. And you can lift at the beginning, let's say, and you can, if the knees are not getting worse, that means that you are getting better if you lift weights. If the knees are getting better, well, then it's fantastic, right? But if the knees get worse, that is not good. You have to back up. You have to either lift from the higher level. You can maybe drop 6 repetitions to 3 repetitions, because it looks like you want strength because of break dancer, right? You want strength and you want speed, right? Because you kind of that what the break dancer is more power dance than any other dance. Talk to me.
Yes, that makes sense. Well, I did have knee surgery 2 years ago, and I found the happy body through the podcast you did with Tim Ferriss. So I started doing it. I started to feel stronger, and I started going back to breaking, and it was going great. I was able to go down to the floor, do things, but recently my knees have been starting to hurt. So I don't know if it's the load of the breaking itself, or maybe that I'm not strong enough to handle the breaking yet.
No, you're strong. You just the muscle is strong. It's just the knees have to have more time to adapt. It means the tendons, the ligaments, the cartilage, everything has to adapt to what you do, and you have to give it time. So you have to go back a little bit and give it the time to the knee to get better, stronger, and to handle that way. Because the muscle can handle that, your muscle.
Yeah,
Just the knee cannot handle, right? So, but the knee is that it's so important to have really good joints. If one joint is out, then you're out, right?
Yes,
So,
it sucks.
it doesn't matter what the joint is, with the wrist or elbow or shoulder. If one is out or ankles, it's hard to train. Weightlifters adapted to a lot of ways how to train, even though the one knee is out, right? That is complex. So, in this
I guess
situation,
my question, the more I hear you and what you're saying, I guess my question is, I'm wondering if it's the weight of the happy body, or it's doing the break dancing and I'm not ready yet to break dance.
it's hard to say, because you said that you returned to the break dancing, right?
Yeah, and it felt good, but then
yeah,
it hasn't. And I do the happy body 7 days a week.
You see, the breakdancing definitely, if I didn't know that you returned, so the breakdancing is definitely did it. I have a lot of surfers and, kite surfers, or, skiers that, they want to go and ski and surf and so on. So usually I'm not comfortable with them until they can sit all the way down and they are strong enough, because the surfing and skiing and breakdancing and golfing, let's say, requires extreme twist and flexibility points. So if you don't have this flexibility in twisting, then you will start really pulling, on the tendons, on ligaments. So that's probably what breakdancing is doing now. So even yoga is very challenging. So if you go to yoga, it's very static posture, let's say, but if you go to the posture and start challenging the flexibility of the joint, that you will pull and you will have pain. But in breakdance, so in yoga, you can have more control over, like in happy body, you have control over. But in the breakdancing, you don't have control. Everything is dynamic. It's like Olympic weightlifting. It's very fast, and then you have to be more flexible than the happy body is, because you go and you enter the positions that requires more flexibility than actually the happy body would. And that is why you have to be really good in the happy body. Then you go to breakdancing and also progress with micro progression within the breakdancing. So because in breakdancing, it would be also like in surfing, there will be transitions from easy to harder and harder and harder and more challenging. So you have to somehow get better in the happy body, then go into breakdancing and also create that there too. All right, awesome.
But if anybody else wants to say something, otherwise we'll see you tomorrow.
Anyone wants to share something? So this is the time.
Jeff, I think someone asked if Jersey could quickly touch upon the reason for curling your toes before a repetition.
Sorry, what was that, Diana?
There is something from Bryant asking Jersey to quickly touch upon the reason for curling our toes before a repetition.
Right. So we do, number 2, we do 3 things. We curl the toes up, and then we flex stomach and the glutes. And the flexing stomach and the glutes at the same time is to create a neutral spine curvature. So it's the core is strong and the core is in the right position. When it comes to the curling toes up, is to force the body for better posture. So people that have bad posture, they are on toes more than they are on heels. So when we start really aging and breaking ourselves in life, we are not standing. You know, when you have a perfect posture, you draw a line between ear, shoulder, hip, and ankle, and there's a straight line. But when you start really aging, your sternum goes forward, and the head goes forward, and then you start looking like that. And then that weight forward creates more forward toward the toes, and then you start really moving, like an old person. So when people are like this and they come, I tell them to curl up, and they move backward, and that sets them up to the direction of perfection and the place where body is on heels and not on toes. The cerebral palsy people also, they walk on toes, they walk on fast, and they're more on toes and forward than actually backward. So the first thing that I do with them is to return them to the heels and teach them how to walk the heel and toe and be more on heels and instead of on toes. Okay. Anybody else?
Hi, Jersey. I've got a question. My name is Alex.
Right.
Thank you for all your work putting the Happy Body out. It's been it's really improved my life. So I've got a quick question, which is that I sometimes find myself in a situation where I don't have access to dumbbells to do the Happy Body on a particular day. In those kind of situations, what would you recommend I do? I see kind of 2 potential options. Maybe one could be to do more work on the previous day and then take that next day as a rest day, or perhaps on that day when I'm without equipment, adjust it and do bodyweight exercises. What would you recommend?
Well, you can use you can either use like 2 bottles of water, for example, and treat that day as flexibility more, because the lighter you get, the more flexibility you will create. So the heavier it is, the less flexibility. So when it's really heavy, it's really hard to even move. So the flexibility can be the way. So when you travel and you don't have any weights, let's say, so I just tell people to use the arms, so 2 bottles of water, and that's it. Also, Amazon has plastic weights that you can fill with water, and you can use those too. So you can buy, and they go up until 16 pounds. So it's pretty heavy, right? So that's the other solution. And the first solution is when people travel, then they usually I tell them to call the hotel whether they have dumbbells there. Of course, now it's just completely off, but in the future, that when you travel, you just be sure that they have dumbbells in the hotel where you're going to stay.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Okay.
Hey, Jersey.
Right.
Hi, Eddie McGuire. Good to
Hi,
see you
Eddie.
again.
Oh, hey, Eddie. What's up, Eddie?
Just here in New York, close to, relatively
good.
close to the former epicenter of the coronavirus. So
How's New York?
for hosting. New York is New York's New York. It's crazy, right? Everybody's some people are, you know.
I hope they are still crazy. So they don't lose the craziness. That's what about New York is. You know, it's good. It's okay.
Absolutely.
So that was the question.
Yeah, question for you in regards to when you're practicing other sports, let's say Olympic weightlifting or you're golfing. How do you incorporate happy body, or do you suggest incorporating happy body into the routines? So let's say a day you're going to go out and play golf, or a day you're doing Olympic weightlifting. Do you suggest doing happy body those days, or not?
Yes, I suggest to do one round only after. So it's,
okay.
More for opening the body and searching for any tightnesses that golf could create, right? So golf is a very demanding twisting sport, and especially on the spine and hips. So the happy body here is fantastic for like internal massage and releasing any tension and finding the tension that you could actually create. So you find yourself, let's say you go down to bounce, and then your one hip is locked, right? But it was not locked yesterday. So it got locked because of the goal. So, when you train, when you do the happy body, you try to unlock it. And any tightness in the body system can be in the shoulder, can be in the ankle, anywhere, right? But you find those places. I find it all the time after weightlifting.
Right.
I do weightlifting, I do one round of the happy body. It's awesome. It's just like opens you up and releases everything. It's just it's just incredible. It's just the same as like you hang yourself upside down. It releases the spine. But the happy body releases everything, any possible tightness you could have in the body. So it's for that. Right. And then on days that you don't do that, you treat the body more as the whole 3 rounds, and you do heavy and then try to improve the happy body. Okay.
Gotcha. Now, would you let's say you go through the happy body, you find, oh, my shoulder feels very tight after Olympic weightlifting, and then, or my hips feel tight. Do you do extra types of exercises to stretch out those areas?
No, I use very light weights when I do the rounds. I usually use 10 pounds or 15 pounds, and then I stretch, and usually I will release all the tension in that one round.
Okay.
With the light weight. So, you don't want to use too heavy weights to release. You have to have light weight.
Right. And then on your off days, you suggest doing full happy body round?
Right.
Like 3 rounds of, right. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else? Or we are good? Good for today?
Big thank you.
Oh, Linda, okay. So, thank you for coming today on Saturday. And we just begun. I think about running this system next Saturday as well. So after 7 days, we'll do another 7 days. So if you like it, then tell everybody else. Jeff will send today the news about this, and we'll try to learn and how to make it happen in these 7 days. So, and how to help people to live the life now in their homes, that actually they can find the ways how to create a better life, even though we are so nailed to where we are only, and we cannot have our way of life somewhere else. and especially our lifestyle is compromised. And then there is also opportunity here how to come out of that cave even better than ever, right? So that's the whole thing. Emmy, how are you?
I'm good. I was just writing a thank you to you for gathering us all together in this incredibly isolating and lonely time where it feels so hopeless. Like, why even bother? And you're giving us a reason to bother. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, we need to really bother because, when you are in your own room, you have to turn away from about the, not from news, but about the news, because the news, right? So turn around and find in your room everything what you need, because it's there, right? Your loved ones are there, your home is there, your books are there, your training is there, everything is there. And you can focus and use that time for, better relationship, for developing self-control, because we'll go through a lot of self-control through calming ourselves better and be more resistant to any kind of irritants that can be presented. So we don't have to complain, we don't have to blame, and we don't have to do all those things, because all those things are really the result of being affected about the news. The time when the news started competing with entertainment and started really creating no news, but entertainment, it just happened that we are not getting any news. And the news are very simple and very short. There's not much news up there. It's just, but about the news, it's a lot. So this transparency, to see this transparency is so liberating. I tell you, when you really start, when we start analyzing a little bit words and language that is used about, then you start recognizing how much is the waste of time there, that you're wasting your time, and a lot of time. And because of you are wasting your time, you're also emotionally involved, and you are wasting also the time and energy that you could have in your room. There is a happiness in your room. And that happiness needs to be expressed, needs to be lived through.
Yeah, this is a big shift for me. So thank you.
You're welcome. Awesome. Okay. Awesome, guys. Thank you. And tomorrow, another cave. Okay. I hope I will not really stop there. But you never know. Okay.